would William be so upset with Meghan and go after her to her husband? I mean, there's something bizarre about this.
Well, some are speculating that, and Harry has sort of said this, that they were outshined by Meghan and Harry, and they wanted to be the shiny things. And I think that's probably what happened. Because he was supposed to be the heir, and Harry's supposed to be the spare.
I know.
And now you've got this new, you know, this couple that everyone was in love with. I think it was a missed opportunity, as I said before, to really grasp the ever-changing country and the look of the UK. They should have welcomed her and welcomed her culture, and they did not. I think there was a lot of bigotry going on. But people that are saying, like, why is he, you know, doing this publicly? Well, he's doing it publicly because he tried to do it privately, and rather than reconcile with him and talk about it, the royal family decided to leak things to the press.
So I find all of these stories incredibly painful because we are seeing the disintegration of a family unit in front of our eyes. And yes, it's tea and it's entertaining, and they're monarchy and they're an institution, but they're also a family. And I think that the wounds that are being revealed are going to be harder and harder to heal with so much publicity.
At the way that Meghan and Harry worked a room, there was an energy, a charisma that pulled you into them. And I think that overshadowing is much of the problem with other layers to it. But I think that's the problem. When you're born into a role that you did not do anything to earn but pop out of,
we know where. We know where.
Meghan does seem a lot like Princess Diana, his mother. And like that ability to connect with people is not something you can be taught.
And I don't think the other couple has it, frankly.
And I'm going to finally get over my years-long gripe with...
The discussion began with a calm, thoughtful moment that set the tone for everything that followed. Joy Behar, who has a gift for pinpointing what the audience is quietly wondering, leaned forward with genuine curiosity visible in her expression. She wasn't trying to stir controversy or ignite tension. She was simply trying to understand a dynamic that has puzzled millions of people for years. With her voice steady and sincere, she asked the question that so many have danced around. Why would Prince William focus so much on Meghan? Why would he go after her instead of addressing things directly with his own brother? It was a question born from observation, from noticing patterns, from seeing the public story unfold and sensing that something beneath the surface didn't add up. And when Joy put that question on the table, it created a space where honesty could be spoken, where empathy could be explored, and where the panel could finally address the deeper human feelings behind this long-running tension. Sunny Hostin stepped into that space with the grace, clarity, and emotional intelligence that she is known for. She didn't rush, she didn't dramatize, she didn't condemn. Instead, she offered a perspective rooted in understanding the emotional realities of people who grow up in rigid systems with predetermined roles. Sunny explained that Prince William had spent his entire life preparing for the role of heir, the one expected to shine, to lead, to embody the future of the monarchy. And then, almost unexpectedly, Harry and Meghan captured hearts in a way the institution was not prepared for. Sunny gently pointed out that the affection people showed toward Harry and Meghan wasn't something they orchestrated or forced. It flowed naturally because the couple connected with the public with warmth, sincerity, and relatability. Their openness drew people in, their compassion resonated, their authenticity stood out in a world often shaped by formality and protocol. And Sunny observed that such a shift, such a natural, effortless shift in public admiration, could have been difficult for someone who had always been told he would naturally command the spotlight. It was not said harshly. It was said thoughtfully, acknowledging the emotional complexities that come with such an unexpected change. Sunny's point was not that anyone acted out of malice, but that sometimes, even within families, people feel unsettled when new dynamics emerge. Meghan brought a kind of glow, a kind of presence, a kind of warmth that made people feel seen and appreciated. That isn't something one can manufacture or predict. Sunny recognized that Meghan's qualities were not a threat. They were simply different, refreshing, and deeply human. But in environments where roles are strict and expectations are lifelong, even something beautiful can create discomfort because it disrupts what people expected to happen. Sunny expressed this truth subtly, emphasizing that Meghan never tried to overshadow anyone. She simply showed up as her full self, and people responded to that. Sunny defended Harry by highlighting that he and Meghan did not seek attention. They simply attracted it by being authentic, modern, and emotionally open, qualities that many people today appreciate deeply. Ana Navarro then joined the conversation with a sense of heartfelt sadness. Her tone really shifted the room from analysis to emotion, because Anna was focusing on the human element, the family, behind the headlines. She shared how painful it has been to watch relationships fray publicly, to see misunderstandings deepen, and to witness a family struggling under the weight of expectations, criticism, and emotional pressure. Anna spoke about how the world often forgets that behind the titles, behind the tabloid stories, behind the social media debates, there are real human beings experiencing real hurt. She said it felt heartbreaking to watch the disconnection happen in front of the world's eyes, and while she acknowledged that every family has its struggles, this particular situation carried an added layer of weight because every moment was magnified, every comment was dissected, and every misunderstanding was turned into entertainment. Anna reminded viewers that whether they are royals or not, Harry and Meghan deserved grace, empathy, and the chance to navigate their lives without constant judgment. What made this panel discussion so beautiful was how naturally the conversation flowed from one perspective to another, each voice adding another layer to the story. The panel didn't speak in anger or accusation. They spoke with sensitivity, acknowledging the nuance, acknowledging the pain, acknowledging how overwhelming it must have been for Harry and Meghan to face criticism that often felt disproportionate and unfair. And when one of the handwritten notes from the user mentioned that Meghan does seem like Princess Diana, that sentiment echoed something many people have quietly felt. Not because Meghan is trying to replicate Diana, but because there is a similarity in the way she exudes warmth, the way she cares for others, the way she approaches people with kindness. Meghan's gentleness, her compassion, her ability to connect emotionally, those are the qualities that remind people of Diana. And Sunny Hostin acknowledged that Meghan's sincerity, much like Diana's, touched hearts in a way that cannot be controlled or predicted. Sunny's defense of Meghan was never about tearing anyone down. It was about uplift, recognizing that Meghan deserved fairness, dignity, and understanding. Sunny highlighted how Meghan was thrust into a world where she was scrutinized intensely from the moment she arrived. Yet even in the face of that pressure, Meghan carried herself with grace, remained devoted to service, and continued to be a loving wife, a caring mother, and a compassionate human being. Sunny also defended Harry by pointing out that he chose to prioritize his family's well-being, and that choosing peace does not make him disloyal, it makes him brave. Harry chose a path where his wife and children could grow without the constant weight of public judgment, and Sunny emphasized how admirable that is. As the conversation unfolded, the panel as a whole created a portrait of Harry and Meghan that stood in contrast to the negative narratives that often dominate tabloids. They reminded viewers that Harry and Meghan consistently speak with kindness, conduct themselves with dignity, and choose to focus on positive work despite the criticism they face. And they reminded the audience that attention and admiration don't always follow tradition. Sometimes they follow authenticity, love, and sincerity. That is what Joy, Sunny, and Anna recognized in Harry and Meghan. Sunny Hostin's insight provided understanding. Ana Navarro's empathy provided heart. Joy Behar's question provided the bridge to an honest, meaningful conversation. Together, they offered something the public rarely sees, a thoughtful, compassionate exploration of the situation, one that defended Harry and Meghan not by pointing fingers, but by highlighting their humanity, their strength, and their unwavering commitment to their family and to each other. The conversation ended not with conflict, but with a gentle reminder that empathy is always the better lens. Harry and Meghan deserve peace, respect, and room to thrive. And thanks to this panel, millions of viewers were reminded of that truth